like over 8 years.
Hey everybody, Mike McElhaney here, Global from Asia interview series. We're here at the SF Express headquarters to do another interview on cross-border e-commerce. Let's tune in.
I started with SF about 6 years ago. I spent most of my career at UPS and also spent a few years at HP. And when I started with SF, I was opening our US business, and just this past year moved to Shenzhen, and now I'm responsible for our international business.
Very good. Welcome to Shenzhen.
It's great.
It's definitely developing. There's construction happening as we speak, and it's fast developing, even probably since the first year. I mean, we're in this IT park, and the building is, I think, only a few years old, if that, or...
Yeah. When I first visited SF in China a few years back, none of these buildings were here, and they talked about, you know, a future office here, and now actually we've outgrown this office, and we have an SF office tower in another part of Shenzhen that we're opening in the coming year. So lots of growth in Shenzhen, and of course with SF. Very good.
So then 6 years ago, how did you first come across SF?
Well, as I mentioned, I worked at UPS for most of my career, and my final years at UPS, I was actually working on our UPS's strategy for China and for Asia Pacific. And during that process, I studied the domestic market in China quite extensively, and that's how I came to be introduced to some of the people at SF. And then after I finished those projects, they asked me if I wanted a new challenge, and I thought SF would be a great way to use my UPS experience and also be a little more entrepreneurial and take up some new challenges. So it's certainly been a experience here in China this last year, and also opening the US business for SF previously.
Very cool. Yeah, definitely. I think it's entrepreneurial. I mean, there's been lots of discussion about the Chinese expanding globally, and you know, even our show name Global from Asia. So 6 years ago seems pretty early for SF in my vision of going abroad. So they were one of the earlier, I think, Chinese companies.
We were certainly one of the earlier express companies. SF actually started our international expansion in 2010 in Singapore, and we are open now in 10 countries around the world, and we have service to over 200 countries through our eParcel product. So we are truly a global Chinese company, and globalizing with our new offices around the world every year. Most of our top customers enjoy that high quality of service, whether they're importing into China from the US or other overseas countries, or our Chinese customers who are exporting. So we have import and export excellent service, and we try our best to duplicate the China brand wherever we go overseas.
Very good. Yeah, there's so much opportunity, I think, with cross-border e-commerce, and we've met a lot of amazing sellers both inside China and outside that are, you know, finding different angles to grow their businesses. Mm-hmm. So, of course, we always like to compare the differences between Chinese companies going overseas. What are you notice some of the maybe challenges that have you seen anything that's different for maybe a Chinese company going abroad?
So I think for Chinese companies going abroad, first of all, we have the advantage of our strength in China, right? So we're going abroad as an industry leader, as opposed to, you know, someone who has to establish a brand with any type of customer. So we've got a strong customer base in China that really helps us in our international expansion. I think one of the challenges is awareness and trial overseas with multinational companies or with local foreign companies. You know, some of our best customers are the customers who are most surprised by a Chinese company like SF and the quality of service that we can provide. So it's really great to sit down with you know, multinational shippers in the U.S. or other Singapore, other countries, and once we start working with them and their business actually starts to grow based upon the quality of our service, the knowledge we have of getting their products into China, this really, you know, impresses them first of all, but second of all, they're always surprised to know that they don't have to go to the premium, you know, big three or to the post office to get this service done. They can actually, there's options like SF that have deep knowledge of China, deep knowledge of cross-border e-commerce to help them. And so this is, it is a surprise that I think a lot of people have once they start using our service. And then a lot of small enterprises also that want to come into China, or medium-sized enterprises from China, use our service. This is one of our really core competencies in China the depth and scale of our network allows us to serve a lot of small businesses that many companies aren't able to serve, and to reach every door in China if you're shipping from outside of China. So one example of technology that we've implemented that's unique in the industry is we try to solve the problem of origin certification of shipments. And what I mean by that is that our overseas customers who sell online in China want to certify that their products are starting overseas, right? So the issue is that a lot of people are selling online in China claiming the product starts in the United States or in Switzerland or Singapore, but actually the product is shipping from Guangzhou. So we have a service called Certified International Shipping that integrates with the technology of the e-commerce seller overseas. They have to be certified by us with their shipping system. When they ship with us, they get a unique QR code, they get a unique label from us that can be verified by the receiver that they know this product started overseas and in the origin that they expected it to start in. And so this is one area of technology. We also, here in China, we have a lot of really new and unique technology using handheld devices and smartphones with our couriers. For example, shippers can scan a QR code themselves and initiate a shipment just using a QR code without any other label or any other information. This is a very unique service that we provide. We have other technology that's a little more mundane, but that helps people in terms of clearing their shipments more efficiently and quickly and accurately as they come in and into China in the high volume cross-border e-commerce way. So we are really investing in a lot of technology. These are just a few areas that relate to e-commerce and improving that part of our business.
Some more fun stuff. You've been in Shenzhen for about a year now. What are some things you do for fun here?
Well, Shenzhen, first of all, one of the things I didn't know about Shenzhen that I discovered is that it has really great Chinese food from all over China, right? So wherever you are, if you've been in China and you really like a certain kind of food, you can always find great food of that kind in Shenzhen. So I think that the other thing about Shenzhen is that it's a really modern city. I think that very well planned, very modern, very easy to get around, very convenient to get around, and I would just say to folks that are overseas, foreigners that would be thinking about working in China or having an opportunity to work in China or even at SF, that give it a try. Shenzhen is a great place to live and work, and at least to experience China without maybe some of the stereotypical challenges that you might have of living in China.
Sure.
Thanks, Michael.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and also check out our Instagram at Global from Asia. Thanks again, and see you soon.